Hello YouTube, it's Woody, and been busy the last 2 days, but nothing really worth filming. Did clean up the garage quite a bit. It was getting a little too messy to do anything. It's still a mess, but at least there's a little bit of room now. Anyways, so what I have gotten done is I've finished the exhaust. I wrapped the downpipe and that header that runs by the brake and fuel lines over there. I wrapped all that and installed it for the final time. I made this mid pipe, so now the exhaust is all connected up. For the record, I hate using these clamps. I'd rather weld on an actual flange, but you know, this exhaust might get changed, I don't know. And at the end of the day, it's a truck, so you know, whatever gets it done. And then I installed the front drive shaft. It clears around the header, or the Y pipe. So everything underneath is done and finalized. And it means I could install the starter way back in there. You can barely see it. It's actually an easier starter to install though than the KA starter, seeing as you can just go straight back. And then power steering pump's hooked up. I'm still waiting for my alternator to come in, so haven't bothered putting belts on because the alternator belt, of course, is the furthest back one, so this belt's gonna have to get removed and then do it all. I'm also waiting for my radiator. Still need to order that. I can and would use the stock one, but my fiance was driving it and she hit a Subaru, and this thing didn't get a whole lot of damage. Subaru ended up getting totaled, but found a small crack in the bottom tank in the radiator, so yeah, not going to risk throwing that in with this engine. So yeah, that's all heat wrapped, kind of buttoned up a bunch of stuff, and we're on to wiring. I got to start pulling I have it tucked up here, but the factory KA engine harness is still in here. I got to start pulling that out. Fortunately, it is integrated into the chassis harness, so I have to pull the whole chassis harness and start splitting that apart so I can start wiring that in. Oh my god, every time. This thing right here, I keep seeing this Halloween decoration in my peripheral. It keeps scaring the crap out of me. Anyways, so yeah, wiring and waiting on parts. That's where we're at for right now. I do realize before I had the transmission in, I had an issue with the speed sensor. I did actually pop the factory one into the V6 and it seemed to grab, so I don't know if it'll actually spin up the speedo or not, but this was what I found out. It is from a D21 in Japan. I believe it's an ambulance version only, but here's the part number. And if I pull it out of the box here, a little bit of an unboxing video. So what we have here, we have speedo cable, speedo gear, with the same size gear that the electronic speedo has. So I left that one in for now. Worst case, you know, if it doesn't work, I have this one. And I may end up swapping to this one later anyways, because I do have bigger tires on it. From the math, this should reduce my speedometer. So I might try this and just see if that makes my speedometer more accurate or not. I mean, I don't really look at my speedometer very much anyways. But, you know, mostly because it never would go fast enough. So now I might not need to actually see it and make sure I'm not speeding. So again, if you're looking for a hack, even just bigger tires, you want the speedo to be more accurate. Again, I haven't tested that, but there's a part number for something to try. And it was relatively cheap. I think I paid about 45 bucks for it. I do have, so the O2 sensor on this side did actually reach. I didn't think it would. The one on this side though, so here's all the O2 sensor plugs. So this is red and blue. These are the driver's side ones, and then these two plugs are the passenger side ones, and this one is literally meant to go directly right there. So it's like, it's meant to go in the front of the where the cat sits. So it's not a very long cable. So I did get a 30-inch O2 sensor harness extender, because I think the plug is, it's way down there because it's in the top of the Y pipe. And for the secondaries, I haven't really figured out a good solid plan. It'd be nice if I could find a plug for these, you know, 2 of these and 1 at the other end, to basically make a 2-to-1 and then put it way after the Y pipe, or put just a dummy resistor in there. I mean, I'm not running cats. It doesn't affect the way it actually runs. It's just basically a check engine light. And seeing as I'm not running the factory charcoal canister that goes into the back, I'm running that one. I don't have a lot of the evap sensors anyways. I don't exactly, even if I wired a check engine light, like, I don't exactly have one that wouldn't just turn on constantly anyways. So, you know, there's that. I will leave a OBD2 port so I can plug into it and check codes just to make sure everything's good, but yeah, doesn't really affect it to have the secondaries on there. And we're running out of daylight, so I'm gonna get to ripping this harness out and see how far I get. Also, me and my fiance are arguing, since the truck is so close to being done, what vehicle should we work on first, or what do you want to see on this channel? What projects you want to see done? Because right now, between the two, of course she's arguing with me because she wants her Corolla done, and I don't blame her. But that's a pretty big project to get finished up. Meanwhile, I want to get the manual trans fixed in that thing, or installed in that thing, start drifting that, have a car to drift that. I mean, yeah, I have that, but I'm pretty much at its potential, and it'd be nice to have that just good to go. So my thought is I'll work on this thing right here, get the trans in. That should be a pretty quick project. I'm pretty sure I have most of what I need, short of a drive shaft. I think I'm going to fab a clutch pedal and a few other small things. And then get this thing in the garage. And in case you haven't seen my first video, yeah, it's mounted in there, but that's about it. So this needs full wiring. I do have all the parts to technically get it running. No cooling system stuff though. However, this also needs a drive shaft, full exhaust, etc. So, plus the driver's side floorboard's rusted out. There's rust holes in the quarter. It's got cheap APC seats that aren't even mounted, so probably throw some more stock Toyota seats in there just to get something actually bolted in. And yeah, this is almost a ground up, minus that the fab work to get it mounted's done. So fit and finish is there, but, well, minus the finish, I guess. So thinking get that Infinity ready to drift and start on this and get this thing finished over the winter. But let me know what you think. Also, in case anyone's interested, my KA 4x4 D21 transmission is for sale. So I know these are kind of hard to find not blown up. So if anybody needs this thing, let me know, because it's taking up a good chunk of garage space. It'd be nice to get it out of here, and I can't imagine I'll ever use it again, so let me know. Alright, unfortunately, shortly after I said that, it got dark quick, which I was still working in, but then it decided to start dumping rain, so not really the best thing to try and pull wiring out of. I was trying to get the stuff out of the engine bay, and yeah, didn't quite work. But despite it being rainy, let me show you, got a lot out of the inside. So seat out all the way to the ECU that's mounted under the seat. I'm definitely going to move where that's mounted, all the way up there. So yeah, unfortunately that is integrated into the entire dash harness, so I'm gonna have to be cutting wires under this dash, which kind of sucks, to try and make a splice harness. But you know, it'll be worth it in the end to be able to separate the engine harness from the chassis. Like most of the Nissans I've worked on, 240s and whatnot, those are separate. So yeah, it'll be nice to have it kind of similar to that, where you pull the engine, disconnect the chassis harness, pull the engine with the harness, and not have to worry about disconnecting every single plug like I had to do on the KA. Granted, there's not that many to disconnect on the KA, so it's not too big of a deal, but yeah, it's just nicer to pull it with the harness. You know, one ECU plug, a couple chassis plugs, and that's it. Call it good. You know, since it is raining, I may pull down this box. Yeah, that's the entire wiring harness to the Frontier. Well, not all of it, but pretty much everything important. I may pull that down, start separating wires in that, seeing if there's anything that I need, and at least getting that side ready. You know, maybe stealing a couple factory plugs to lube into the factory harness there. And oh, OBD2 port, definitely need to pull that out, get the plug for that. So alrighty, so did a little bit, not much. I kind of just pulled the harness out of the box. I forgot I already did kind of simplify this. I cut off like headlight wiring, stuff like that. There's still a bunch of extra stuff I didn't go through. I know a bunch of this is like HVAC. I don't even know what this white box is. FCC rules, cool. Probably airbag something. No, it's not yellow, so I don't know. I did get there's my OBD2 port, all my wires there. And I laid it out kind of generally how it would in the truck. I did realize I don't think I can go too much further until I get my alternator in, because this is my alternator harness, which obviously runs to the driver's side of the truck versus the KA, which is over there. So I can't run the stock wires and just splice them in there without doing this extension. Probably end up keeping these plugs on here and running these wires over to where the factory KA does. And actually haven't even looked at how these plug in. I mean, I doubt I'll get lucky enough to just plug and play them into the factory box. I mean, maybe that'll bolt up to my factory fuse box like I have already in the truck. But we'll find that out. And so yeah, there's gonna be a lot of cutting. It's gonna be a bit like my custom ground joiner from when I was test running the engine. It's still all attached. So yeah, laid that out that way, kind of have a reference for where everything's supposed to go once I pull my wiring out of the truck, or at least out of the engine bay, and pull it back, remove all the engine management stuff. Then I can figure out splicing what I need to from this harness. Don't think it's a lot. I mean, I think it's the alternator, that OBD2 plug, pull the wires out for that all the way, and then wherever it connects to the factory ECU, which I can't really remember. I believe it's something like these 3 plugs, I want to say. I don't know. It's a bunch of these plugs. Somewhere in this corner. Yeah, I've already cut this back. Like, oh my god, what a disaster. And this isn't even that new of a car. Oh my. Like, there's easily 100 wires right here. Like, that's insane. Like, no thanks. I'm not putting all that in my truck. I'm sure there's maybe 20 wires that I need. So, but I'll figure that out next week. And, yeah, bring you guys along for it. But we're getting close. Like I said, already thinking about the next project to do. And now we got to finish this one first. I don't want to think too far ahead, but definitely, you got some ideas on that, what you want to see, leave a comment, let me know, and see you next week. Bye.